Hello and welcome to MINYIP. If this is the first time you're watching us, I'm your host Blake and I'm joined by Clinton for our FPL preview show. How are you, Clinton?
Thank you, Blake. Big double game week coming up. Looking forward to it. I'm hoping Arsenal get back-to-back victories. That's my main objective this game week.
Yeah, they've got some of the best fixtures this game week, so we'll see how they go. We'll quickly recap how our team went over game week 25, Clinton. So Manchester United and Brighton had the double up for game week 25. Which players did you have from those teams?
I had Marcus Rashford, who I brought in for Salah, and that is all, I believe. Yeah. So, Morpay.
Oh yeah,
Morpay I brought in also. So that were my two, and yeah, the first game for both those teams went well. The second one, not so much, especially in the 97th minute.
Yeah, well, it was all right for my Man United players, but not so well for Brighton players. So how many points did Rashford score there, Clinton?
Scored a total of 5. He was my captain.
Okay.
So, yeah, he got an assist in the first game. Then he was benched, came on. The United fans were actually booing him for the time he was on the pitch because he was doing nothing and turning the ball over. So I was tuning in to try and see a score for him. And then, lo and behold, the one person I didn't want to scored in the 97th minute.
Yeah, well, I thought I was the opposite with my Man United players. I thought they didn't perform very well in the first game against Southampton. I had Bruno only scored 2 points in that game. I had Ronaldo score 2 points as my captain, and Pogba score 1 point after he got yellow carded. So they're on 5 after that, but then they came through for me in the final game against Brighton. Pogba ending up on 5 points for the game week. Bruno Fernandes 12, and Ronaldo as my captain scored 10 points, equaling 20. So I was pretty happy with that. For Brighton, I brought in Veltman. So he had a clean sheet in the first game, scored 7 points, and then I just picked up the 1 point against Man United. And I also had Basuma, who after the first game played 26 minutes and got 1 point, and then got me 2 points. So 3 points in total for the game week. How many points did Morpay score?
8 in total.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
So I'll quickly run through the remainder of my team. So I had Guaita in goal, score 6, Veltman 8, Semedo 6, Trent Alexander-Arnold 6, Luca Dean 2, Fernandes 12, Salah 3, Basuma 3, Gallagher 3, Pogba 5, and Ronaldo 20. How'd you go, Clinton?
Not too bad. I ended up scoring 77. Sarr in goal scored me 10. Trent 6, Robertson 7. Diaz, who I was tempted to transfer out, actually, he scored me 10. Luca Dean 2. Jared Bowen 13. Phil Foden 8. Rafinha 1. Rashford, my captain, scored me 10 total. And then up front, I had Watkins 2 and Mopay scored me 8. So, yeah, Cancelo was obviously rested, so he went to my bench for 0. Ramsey 1, Dennis 1 on my bench. So not too bad. Things were tracking well. In hindsight, I took a risk with bringing in Rashford. I could have brought in Fernandes, which was probably the smart option, but I took a risk. It wasn't looking so bad after the first game. And then, unfortunately, as I said, the 97th minute, that's when Fernandes scored. So, 77 is a good score. So if it wasn't for that goal by Bruno, I think a lot of other scores would have been considerably lower. So not too bad. Looking forward to this game week.
So what were the transfers you made this game week?
The one I made was literally Mo Salah out for... 2. I think I put in Mopay also. So I transferred out Josh King. So I had a Watford double up front. So I got rid of Josh King for Mopay. And I brought in, as I said, Rashford for Salah. So a bit of a risky one, but I knew I was always going to bring Salah straight back in. So just took that punt on Rashford.
Yeah, and your overall rank?
I think it's before that Bruno goal. So I was within the top million before that last game, but then that Bruno goal cost me. So I'm literally 1,019,000. So Yep, slowly getting there, week by week.
Yeah, absolutely. I wild carded going to this game week and I'm glad, even though I only scored 70, a bit lower than you, 74 points, if I hadn't have wild carded, I would have scored about 50. So it worked out all right for me, and I've set myself up for this game week as well. Majority of players are on the double, but we'll discuss that when we get up to what we're going to do for this week. My overall ranking, I am 314,000 overall. So very happy with that. And I'm still in the very prestigious Spurs Cup, Clinton. And yes. I'm still in the Optus League Cup. So still happy to be kicking along in a couple of leagues there. Our League Cup doesn't start till game week 33, I believe. So looking forward to that one as well.
A lot of people in our cup, but yeah, sorry I didn't mention, but yeah, the Australia Cup, I've been banging on about that for a few weeks. I'm still in the Australia Cup. So how many wins now? That's 6 wins in the Australia Cup. So just all about the Australia Cup, mate.
I got knocked out of that in game week 24, even though I scored above average score of 59. Someone called Chicken Masala scored 79 and he got me covered. So I was a bit stiff about Chicken Masala. So our league, Clinton, as we just mentioned, Scott is regained the throne there. So he's ahead of David by 6 points. Dems in third. Aaron in our Patreon is fourth, and I am fifth. So the majority of our Patreon in the top 5 there, Clinton, besides you, who is sitting in ninth. The big score around was Dem, moved up the rankings. He scored 86 points, which was a very impressive score for the game week 25.
Yeah, he was another one who had the Bruno and Ronaldo double up. So also, prior to that last game, I was about 20 points ahead of everyone. So to that point, I had a big game week. I just needed Rashford and Mopo to deliver, but it was Bruno and Ronaldo that brought in the points in that last game.
Yep. We'll discuss the key players for this week now, Clinton. So as we mentioned, there is 7 teams on the double. Probably the best fixtures of the lot is Liverpool, who have got Norwich and Leeds at home. Arsenal's got Brentford and Wolves at home. Watford's got Aston Villa and Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace got Chelsea and Watford. Wolves have got Leicester and Arsenal. Burnley have got Brighton and Tottenham. Tottenham are playing Man City, tough fixture. And then they've got Burnley, so an easy one. And then Leeds have got Man United and Liverpool. So it's going to be a tough double game week for Leeds players. Which players do you like on the double, Clinton?
Well, obviously, Liverpool are the team to get, and they've been well spoken about which players. I think everyone should have, obviously, Mo Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Yeah, but the third option is interesting because Jota just got injured midweek. A lot of people have Robertson, or sort of lean towards Robertson now. So they're the 3 that I have, which I'm quite happy about. But there's always a risk of rotation. So how much time does Mo Salah play? I'm not sure if he'll play at 180 minutes. And Robertson always has that lingering issue that Tsimikas might come on for him. So I think Trent and Salah are the easy 2, and then it's whether or not a lot of people having Jota, who they transfer him to. So it's an interesting one, but yeah, they're the 2 Liverpool players. I could go team by team if you like. Arsenal have great fixtures, as you mentioned. And a lot of people have Ramsdale in goal. I think it's quite attractive fixtures for the defence. So whether it's Tierney or Gabriel in the back line, I think they're looking good. Lacazette, despite obviously being a bit of an up and down play the last couple of years at Arsenal, with Aubameyang gone, he's a good chance to score in this double. So Arsenal aren't looking too bad for this double. Also, and then you got the teams like the Tottenham's who aren't in great form. There's about 3 weeks ago, everyone was targeting Tottenham, but now all of a sudden it's not looking great for them. So
I think that's happened about 3 times this season. There've been people target Tottenham and they've just crashed.
Yeah, so it's an interesting one. And I think Wolves actually have not bad fixtures as well. So I've got Sarr in goal, which I'm happy about. And I'm tempted to bring in another Wolves player. So there's some other teams there that have okay fixtures. It's just whether or not what chips you're playing and if you're interested in taking hits for your team, because there's some teams with some handy single game fixtures like Jared Bowen for West Ham. I reckon the Man City, for example, I've got 3 Man City players. They play Tottenham at home, and I think I can't see Tottenham scoring. So should I take out a Man City play for a double? I'm not sure. So there's plenty to think about. It all depends on everyone's team. So
yeah. And so there'll be a few differential players from these teams as well. Your likes of Firmino, Diaz potentially could be playing a fair few minutes with Jota being out for Liverpool and the risk of rotation as well. So if you get it right, could go very well. But you've got to consider, Clinton, that game week 27, Liverpool and Arsenal have got a blank game week at the moment. So at the moment, I'm planning on only having 4 players from those 2 teams, even though they've got best fixtures. Like we discussed in our last show, I don't want to have triple up players and then be shorter players and having to take massive hits in the following game week.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people ignoring that and attacking Arsenal and Liverpool, and then they're going to free hit in 27, which is an option. But I've only got the 3 Liverpool players at the moment, so there's a chance I might bring in an Arsenal player. If that happens, then I'll transfer that player out. So everyone's teams are different. So everyone has different chip strategies. So triple captain is a highly talked about chip for this game week. And then, it's if you've already played a free hit chip, if you want to use that for 27 or you're going to save that for later on. So, it's plenty to think about.
I'm glad you mentioned captain, Clinton. Who do you think is the best captain option going into this game week?
It's obviously Salah. But once again, the question is, he's had a big tournament in Africa. He's come back and played a couple of fixtures already. And they've got 2 easy games on paper. So potentially he starts both, and potentially they might be 3-0 up at half time, and then he can go off at the 60-minute mark. So, he's not a robot. He can't continue just to churn out full game after full game. And, so he's not a machine, but I think he starts both games, but he may come off in one or both even. So Salah is the easy answer, but I'm tempted by Trent because it's every chance Liverpool should keep a double clean sheet. If that's the case, that's an automatic 12 points. And then if he gets an attacking return on top of that, if you're talking about your triple captain chip at the start of the year, if you could say you could get 15 from it, I think you'd be pretty happy. So, there's high risk, high reward. Potentially, Salah could. He did score midweek in the Champions League. Obviously, he's the world's best player. They need to keep on winning to try and win the title. So, it's another decision which is there's a fair bit to think about. But on the other hand, we've got the best player in the world against 2 of the easiest teams in the league. Sometimes you just got to don't overcomplicate it and say, this is the perfect opportunity to triple captain Mo Salah. So, interesting.
Got a quick stat for you, Clinton.
Go for it.
How many times has Trent Alexander-Arnold scored 12 points or above over the last 12 game weeks?
Off the top of my head, I'll say 1.
The answer is none. The player that has scored 3 times above 12 points over the last 8 game weeks is Kieran Tierney.
There you go. My boy.
Would you consider captaining an Arsenal player this game week?
No, I wouldn't. I think Wolves are a handy team at the moment. They're in good form. So that's a difficult fixture for them. It could quite easily be a 0-0 draw, but no, I'd almost certainly choose between Trent and Salah, and I'd be 70-30 towards Salah.
Will you be hitting your triple captain this week?
I think so. And yeah, I might leave it to the last minute to decide which way I'll go, because there is a part of me that sees that Jota is going to be out. Is it Firmino? Is it so? I'm not sure if Liverpool, especially Mane and Salah coming back from Africa, I'm not sure if they'll be humming like their best. But in saying that, they've got two great fixtures, so Salah could easily get a hat trick in both. So it's one of those two for me.
Yeah, I personally am going to hold on to my triple captain just because of the risk of Salah spending some time on the bench across the fixtures. I'll most likely captain Trent just because of that risk. And yeah, there'll be some more double game weeks coming up in the future. Potentially later on in the season, there might even be a triple up. Like I think Leicester, they've potentially got like a Newcastle and a Leeds double up in the future. So I'm happy to hold on to it for now, see what happens with the later fixtures, just because of that risk with Mo. So we'll go through our teams for this game week, Clinton. I'll run through mine first. So I've got Foster in goal, who's got the double. Veltman for Brighton's playing against Burnley at home. Semedo, who's got the double up. Trent, Luca Dean, who's got just the one fixture against Watford. Kieran Tierney, I've got Bruno, Salah. Currently, his Pogba is still there, but he's about to make way. Got Ronaldo and Broha. So on the bench, we've got Guaita, Gallagher, Basuma, and Ida for Norwich. My planned transfers at the moment is Pogba and Ronaldo out for Son and Lacazette.
Not bad. With your captain on Trent, is that correct?
Yes, correct. So the single game week players I'll have would be Veltman versus Burnley, Luca Dean versus Watford, and Broha versus Everton, all got home fixtures. So pretty happy to still have them on the singles. I didn't realise in advance that Gallagher wouldn't be playing the first game.
I was about to ask you that question. I saw him on your wildcard team, and then I thought maybe you didn't realise he wasn't going to play the double.
Yeah, correct. They he does play against Watford in the second game, but yeah, still a bit annoying.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, you're well set up there. My team, I've got Sarr in goal, Trent and Robbo, and then I've still got Cancelo and Diaz. Luca Dean makes up my back five. Then I've got Bowen, Foden, Rafinha. At the moment, I've still got Rashford, but I'll transfer him to Salah. And then I've got Dennis up front on his lonesome, which leaves Watkins, Mopé, and Ramsey on my bench. So, just in case there's a late injury for Salah, I'm going to just wait until the last minute to transfer him in for Rashford. And then it's whether or not I take a -4. And the one I'm tempted, as I said, I've got a triple up on Man City. And I think they're cruising at the moment. And the thing that excites me is that Foden has been starting, and there's been other injuries to the likes of Jesus and Grealish. I think there's someone else, might be someone else as well. So I think Foden's a definite start at the moment. He's playing up front for Man City. They're smashing teams, left, right, and centre. And I can see him scoring versus Tottenham. So it's not ideal to have 3 Man City players, but I think I'm going to keep them, and I hope they trounce Tottenham. And especially to keep a clean sheet, because I could easily transfer out Diaz for it. But I've got good confidence that they'll keep a clean sheet. So, which leaves me with one more question: is whether or not Luca Dean, overall, Aston Villa have been playing reasonably well, but they've been conceding a fair bit. They've been scoring goals. So I'm happy with Ramsey on my bench, but Watkins and Luca Dean are the 2 players that are annoying me a lot. And I could potentially transfer either out Watkins for Lacazette or transfer out Luca Dean for the likes of Kieran Tierney, or I might even potentially double up with another Wolves defender like Roman Saiz, who I think is a good goal threat also. So that's what I'm weighing up. The other team, which is a maybe, is Burnley. They have a double this game week and then a double in game week 27. So that's another team I'm looking at, and whether or not it's Ben Mee or Tarkowski, that's what I'm eyeing up as also. So there's about 4 or 5 things I could potentially do. Salah is definitely coming for Rashford, and then it's whether or not I take a hit for. I might just leave it and play Luca Dean versus Watford, or I might make it one more, make them -4 for either Lacazette or Roman Saiz or Tarkowski, something like that. So, yep, see how we go. And I'm pretty sure triple captain Mo Salah.
I was considering getting out Luca Dean as well, but I just thought in the end it wasn't worth the extra -4 hit. They've got pretty good fixtures over the next 5 game weeks. But like you said, he's been very up and down since starting at Aston Villa. So we'll see how that goes. I'll be holding him now. I've just decided it's not worth the hit. But triple captain, big move, Clinton. Hopefully it'll pay off for you. But yeah, it's too risky for his minutes, from my opinion.
The other couple of players that I still have in my team, Rafinha got benched halfway through his last game, which wasn't ideal. But I'm just optimistic of something happening where he's their best player. Hopefully he can do something against Man United and, well, I doubt it versus Liverpool at Anfield, but hopefully he does something versus Manchester United. And Dennis up front, if I leave Luca Dean in my team, Dennis has Aston Villa away and then Crystal Palace at home. So hopefully he can snare something in those games, especially the one versus Crystal Palace. So looking on paper, I do have 5 players on the single game week, but Man City, the big one. Man City, I need to keep it clean sheet, which is Tottenham, and Foden to hopefully score.
Yeah, very good. I currently don't have any Man City players. On my wild card, I got rid of Cancelo and De Bruyne, which is, I just knew they were going to be arrested, Clinton. I saw the Champions League fixture midweek and I thought, nah, they need to save them for that. They're going to win the Premier League, so they don't need to worry about it anymore. They just rest up for the Champions League.
So that was a big tick for that game week, Blake. And now the big question, not only for them, but also Liverpool, there's lots of Champions League on. There's other cups on still as well. So, rotation is on the cards for those teams. But, there's still a part of me that thinks that Liverpool and Man City still need to play their best team to get wins on the board to go for the title. So, potentially Cancelo and KDB might punch you as soon as this week, maybe.
Potentially, yeah. Just being the passionate Arsenal supporter you are, Clinton, just your top 3 players that'll score this week for Arsenal?
For Arsenal?
Yeah.
I'd lean towards Ramsdale has been awesome all year, but I want Arsenal to win 2-1 in both games because I'm sick of everyone being so happy about Ramsdale. But I'd say Lacazette up front, potentially Saka in the middle, and then let's go Kieran Tierney in the defense. So, as I said, I sort of hope they concede, but then I hope they still win the game.
What's going on with Smith Rowe at the moment?
You can't get a gig in the best team at the moment. Yes, they're playing the likes of Saka. Yeah. Martinelli was in great form until his red card. Odegaard's been pretty good form all season, so they've got a pretty strong midfield. And he's just sometimes you have to bide your time. Martinelli did that for several years, and he's started to come on a lot recently. So maybe he's just building on his game. Not sure what it is, but he's still a quality player.
Yeah, I was considering I didn't realise the limited minutes he's been playing lately. I was considering him for this game week, and then I saw how many minutes he's played over the last about 6 weeks, and it's not many.
No.
So we're recording this on Friday morning, Clinton, in Melbourne. So the deadline for us is 10 p.m. Saturday night. So it's a bit more of a reasonable deadline for us rather than an early morning start, which is nice for us.
Yes.
Very, very handy. So we'll be keeping up to date with the Twitter. Make sure you follow us on there if you're watching or listening to the show today. Today's episode will be more of a video podcast for whoever's watching on the YouTube. But you can listen to us on Apple and Spotify podcasts as well. So anything further to add there, Clinton?
Just about the deadlines. Yeah, it's a lot better. The question is not a question, but it's much better to be able to make decisions late. It's just the question is how drunk you are compared to a 4 or 5 a.m. deadline where you have no control when you're sleeping. But when it's late at night, depends on how much you're drinking. But
big night playing, Clinton.
Potentially this week, potentially. And the other thing, obviously, Blake, is we're recording some footy podcasts soon. So for those listening to this or watching this, we're looking forward to the footy season. So that's just around the corner.
Yeah, not far away at all. Should be about a week, I'd say, Clinton, by the time this gets up. And so if you check out our Patreon as well, there'll be some good things coming to that over the next week. Follow us on the social media platforms because that's where you can stay up to date with all our content. So we're definitely looking forward to the footy shows coming up next week. But just looking forward to watching these FPL matches this weekend first, Clinton.
That's right. Yeah. Good luck, Blake.
Good luck, Clinton. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye.